Hello again. We are back with pop-up story time, and today's story is called Hold On to Your Music. The story was written by Mona Golabek and Leah Cohen. And this is the inspiring true story of the children of Wilson Lane. Let's get started. Snow-covered palaces sparkled as Lisa rode the trolley through the streets of Vienna toward her piano lesson. As she passed the symphony hall, she dreamed of the day she would perform on a grand stage and play the music of Mozart and Beethoven. Every week, when Lisa arrived at her piano teacher's studio, she found him sitting in the same worn armchair, but today he stood outside the door. "I'm afraid there are no more lessons." His voice was slowed by sadness. "There are new laws that won't allow me to teach Jewish children." Lisa didn't understand. "I'm so sorry, Lisa, but it's best that you ask your parents to explain." When Lisa arrived home, she was heartbroken. She told her parents what her piano teacher had said. "Many families like ours are going through painful times," her father said. "We've been made to feel that being Jewish is a crime." Lisa thought of the friends and parents she saw at synagogue every week. They had done nothing wrong, and neither had she. "Why should I have to stop taking lessons? It's not fair." Lisa's father gently brushed her cheek. "It hurts to be told you can't do the things you love just because others' hearts are filled with hate," he said. "But that doesn't mean you have to stop playing." Lisa's mother held out her hand and led her to the piano. "Whatever tomorrow brings, Lisa, you must always remember to hold on to your music. It will be your best friend." Together, they played a duet, carried away by the melody, leaving their worries behind. Lisa practiced the piano with her mother every day. As the snow continued to fall, there was talk of war in the air. "Vienna will not be safe for a young child," her father said softly. "Where will we go?" Her mother cradled Lisa's face in her hands. "Not us, Lisa, just you." They described the special trains that would take children just like her to Britain, where she would be safe and could follow her dream. "Aren't you coming with me?" Her father shook his head as Lisa's mother hugged her tightly. Lisa was frightened. She worried she wasn't brave enough to go by herself. On her last morning in Vienna, Lisa slowly walked through her apartment. She whispered goodbye to her piano. She looked at family photographs until she could remember them with her eyes closed. She wondered when she would sleep in her bed again. The train station was filled with a symphony of sobs. Children with numbers strung around their neck clung to their parents. Lisa could see her papa struggling not to cry. "Remember to," her mother started to say through her tears. "I won't forget, Mama. I'll hold on to my music and never let go." On the train, Lisa felt very alone. She wished the train would come to a screeching halt, but it kept rolling farther from home. All day and all night, Lisa heard the clickety-clack of the wheels as young children called out for their parents in their sleep. Lisa gazed through the window, pretending to play for the moonlit windmills. As she imagined the music, she felt less alone. After a long journey, they finally reached London. Lisa stood in a sea of anxious Jewish children waiting to be taken to their new homes. "Number 158," boomed a woman with a wide smile, double-checking her list. Lisa clutched her suitcase and raised her hand. "You're off to Willesden Lane, dear." "Welcome, dearest. I'm Miss Cohen, the head of the home." She led Lisa toward a brick house where dozens of children waited to greet her. When Lisa saw the beautiful lilac garden, she was hopeful about her new life. By the time dinner was served, Lisa had learned all the house rules and made a new friend. Gina told her there were 32 boys and girls living at Willesden Lane who had also left their families behind. But no one had told Lisa about the old piano tucked away in a corner of the house. She had just begun to touch the keys when Miss Cohen walked up. "I've been waiting for a child who knows how to play the piano. Might that be you?" Lisa hugged Miss Cohen with all her might. "I'm guessing that's a yes." During the day, Lisa worked at a factory sewing uniforms for soldiers. In the evening, her fingers danced along the piano keys, filling the house with joy. But one afternoon, the piano was gone. Miss Cohen walked in and saw Lisa about to cry. "I had to move it to the basement where it's safer." Miss Cohen's lips were pinched with worry. "Britain is at war. Bombs will soon be falling from the sky." At night, as the bombs dropped onto London, Lisa practiced in the basement. The closer the bombs, the louder she played. The sound of explosions faded as Lisa's music soared. Each night, Miss Cohen listened to Lisa play the piano. "I see how much the music means to you. Perhaps you should study at the Royal Academy of Music. It is one of our best schools," she explained. "Would they ever accept me?" Lisa asked. "I'm a Jewish refugee." "You're also a very gifted pianist," Miss Cohen said. "But I don't have a teacher to help me prepare." Miss Cohen beamed. "Don't worry, dear. Your friends will help you." Each night, the children of Willesden Lane helped Lisa with everything from her scales to her posture until the day of her audition. Gina held Lisa's hands as they walked into the academy. She didn't let go until Lisa's name was called. Lisa stepped into a recital room and took her place at the piano. Three judges listened as her music swirled and floated around them. Lisa hoped they were pleased with her performance. They said, "I'll know soon," she told Gina on the way home. Each day felt like forever while she waited. 2 weeks later, Miss Cohen handed Lisa an envelope. She was too nervous to read it, so Gina tore it open. "You've been accepted," she shouted. The children erupted in cheers. Miss Cohen wiped the tears from her eyes. On her first morning at the academy, Lisa imagined her parents walking her to the front door, bursting with pride. She remembered her very first piano lesson as a young girl back in Vienna. Her small hands barely reaching the keys. Now she was much closer to her dream of performing on a grand stage. Then came the news everyone was waiting for. The war was over. After years of waiting for peace, everyone was hungry for celebrations. It was time for Lisa's debut. Miss Cohen and the children of Wilson Lane filled the front rows of a packed concert hall. All eyes were on Lisa, who sat perfectly still at a grand piano. She took a deep breath, pictured her mother by her side, and began to play. The audience was up on its feet, cheering the moment the concert came to an end. "I kept my promise, Mama," Lisa said softly, taking a bow. "I held on to my music and never let go." The end. And again, this was the book Hold On to Your Music by Mona Golabek and Lee Cohen. I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did, and I will see you next time at our next pop-up story time. Bye!